Welcome back to Motors and Medicine. On today's episode, I'm going to be working on the Bronco again. This time, I'm going to be installing some trail sight lights. And to kind of illustrate it, I'm going to grab what the replacement looks like, which is right here. See how it's got a nice LED light here. And I'm going to be replacing this piece right here. Now, this original piece from the factory is just plastic. There's nothing special about it. What I'm gonna do is remove this and install this in its place. So it'll sit something like that, okay? Then what I'm gonna do is wire this up with the harness that it comes with. It'll get wired into the headlights as well as the turn signals. So this LED is gonna light up when I'm running down the road as well as when I'm making turns, which is kind of nice. But it'll give you a little bit more light if you're out on, like, say, a dark trail or something. It'll help with that. But it's just a nice piece. And this particular assembly here, these trail sight lights, are made by IAG, company that I've bought a lot of parts from. And I'll put a link in the description if you guys are interested in this. So it's a nice piece. This setup here, these are about 200 bucks for this set. And these are made out of billet aluminum, so they're much nicer than the plastic pieces that came with it. So what I'm gonna do is, what you really need for this project, not too many tools. You'll need a 10 millimeter wrench socket, and you have to open up your fuse box cover, because there's one fuse that you're going to be replacing with a fuse that comes with this kit so that we can fuse the two lights themselves. And then down underneath the fender well here, to access the harness for the light, you basically just have to pull down the inner wheel well, which is easy. There was just a few clips to hold it in place. Just pull it down, reach around inside, and that's where the headlight plug is found. So I've already unplugged it, and I don't know if you can see this here. I'll wave it at you right there. So we're just gonna move forward. I'm gonna start by disassembling this, taking it off, and then we'll plug in the harness. And so I'm gonna just go to that point. I'm gonna reposition the camera, and then I'll be repositioning the camera a few times during this process so you guys can see how this all works. And then hopefully we can get it done in a pretty short period of time. So here we go. All right, so we're back. So first things first, use the 10 millimeter wrench to take these 3 fasteners off. I'm just going to keep this in a safe place over here on the box so it doesn't get lost. Next, there's 2 more retaining nuts down in here, found right about this region right here. And then this should just come off pretty easily. The kit provides you with some new hardware. Okay, little nut there. Put that aside. Okay. So now you can see this is what it looks like out. And I'm going to grab the other one for comparison. You can see how they are next to each other side by side. So it's the same exact profile, except that this one is a nice LED light made out of billet aluminum versus plastic. So I'm just going to set this aside for just a second. Next, I need to remove a piece of plastic from this. It's kind of like the insulation that you see here. This has to be removed and installed here on this other piece. So I'm just going to get that done real quick, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so as you can see here, I took the rubber insulation off the original light and installed it here on the new one. This is the insulation that kind of rides up against the hood. So it's real simple. It snaps off, and then there's like these little snaps where you just pop it back in. So now we're ready to install this. Basically, I believe. Okay. There we go. All right. So this is the hardware kit that comes with it. It's just some stainless steel pieces. We'll need three of them for each side. So I'll go ahead and just get this started by hand so that I'm not dropping anything. Start the other one. All right, once you get them all started, then it's just a matter of fastening them down in place. And I believe these are also 10 millimeters. Yes, so it's a 10 millimeter swap altogether. Doesn't have to be over torqued, just snug it up pretty good. Now that this is installed again, you see that there's a wire here to it. So this wire gets passed right down through where the light harness is going to be connected. So I'm going to pass this down, and then I'm going to show you guys what that looks like on the other side. So we'll move the camera and I'll show you the other. Okay, so now I've repositioned the camera to the front driver's side wheel well. As you can see here, hopefully you can see this. This is the light, this is the wire from the light that we just installed up top. And then this is the original light from the harness on the vehicle going to the headlight complex. So the way that this is done, this kit provides you with a little harness like this. Everything's plug and play, so it makes this install really easy. And basically all you need to do is plug this end into the light here. Let's see, hopefully I can get this right. Okay, so once that's plugged in, you see that there. Once that's plugged in, then the next step is to actually, I'm gonna move the camera back up to the top so that we can look at the fuse box, and I'll show you the wire that connects to these other pieces here. Essentially, what's gonna happen is this piece here is gonna get plugged back inside to the headlight complex. Then we're going to be left with some accessory connections here, and only, I believe, 2 of these might get used as far as I'm concerned. And it just leaves it open so that if you do want to install lights, these connections will be left open so that if I install any other lights, this is already going to be, if I just find a terminal that looks just like this, I can run those wires or lights wherever I want, and they'll also turn on the same exact way. They're going to be on the same fused relay system that the car comes with. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, reposition the camera so you guys can see it from the top, and we'll continue from there. Okay, so this looks complicated, but it's really not. What you get with this kit is this really long connection. Essentially what this is it's a 10 amp fuse connection that we're going to put right up in here into the fuse panel. And then I'm going to route this wire down to the driver's side headlight, and these 2 ends, one gets plugged into this light and the other gets plugged into one of those 3 on the harness that they provide that you saw. There's 3 connections. So only one will get used, and that leaves those 2 other connections open so that if I ever get any other lights, it'll just be plug and play. And that's what I liked about this kit, is that it's already got others ready to go. And IAG actually has a bunch of other light kits. So if, say, I installed lights up on the cowl or up on top, because on a previous video I showed you guys that I had installed the windshield rack light assembly. And once I install lights there, I can run the wires and just plug them straight into this. So it'll all be connected. And I won't have to worry about having a separate control, because these literally these are all controlled by the lights themselves inside. So there's no need for any other remote control. So the way that it's diagrammed, you just basically install this on this end. What I have to do first is just remove one fuse. So I'm going to zoom in and show you guys which fuse it is. So I'm going to bring the camera up here close. And if you guys can see, here's my finger. So I'm going to be removing this. There's a 15, there's a 15, I'll point to it with this. There's a 15 right here and a 10 amp right here. So this 10 amp fuse gets removed. So I'm gonna pull that out right now. Okay, so there's your 10 amp fuse out. And in its place, we plug this guy in right here. So it's got 2 prongs. Let's see. Perfect. And then from that point, you can just kind of route it to the side. This isn't, I might actually groove out the fuse box just so that it fits a little bit better so it's not pinching the wire. But what I'm gonna do is then pass this portion down the same path that I passed the other light. So it's gonna come through here. You're actually left with quite a bit of extra wire length here. So I'm just going to run this through. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is pause the video again, replace the camera to the other end, and show you guys how they all connect. And then I'm going to repeat the process on the passenger side. Once it's all buttoned up, then I'll show you the finished product and we'll test it out, make sure it works. Okay, so now we're back at the wheel well. So as you saw earlier, this is the harness that comes with the kit. So this is the stock harness. It ends right here. And then this is the piece that comes with the kit, and it's got the 3 connections. So what we need to, and this is, now you can see the position, the little wiring harness that I just fused into the fuse box. And then finally the light piece up here. So now what you're supposed to do is plug in the fused harness here. Let's see. Okay. Once that's installed there, then here, it doesn't matter which one of these 3, you just plug one into this. Okay, and then that's gonna leave me 2 free for whenever I wanna install some other lights in the future. So basically what I do now is plug this connector into the actual headlight assembly, and then this connection will be done. I can just kind of button all this up. And they provide some zip ties for you so you can clean up all this wiring. Once that's done, then I'll just repeat the process on the other side, and then we'll test it out to see how it all looks. I'll do like a finish picture and video, and then test everything out. So that's the next step. I'm just gonna kind of plug this in here and get this put back together, and then we'll move on to the other side. All right, guys, so I was able to get everything put back together and reconnected the inner wheel well splash guard. So I'm going to show you now just so you can kind of see inside the wheel well and see that everything, I don't know how well you can see that, but there you go. It's a little bit better angle. Looks like everything's been put back together. Now I'm going to show you up here in the engine compartment. You can see that the fuse box is back in. You can see the little wire coming out through there. And I routed it along the front of the vehicle here and just kind of zip tied it along the way, and then tucked it back down on the other side to plug in the opposite light. So now what I'm going to do is close the hood, and show you guys what it looks like with the hood closed. Okay, good. So now you guys can see, this is what it looks like here. And you can see the other one here. All right, now it's time to test it. So now I'm just gonna turn the lights on and hopefully everything works. All right, so I will walk back in front here and check it out, see what it looks like. Okay, so now you can see the LED is lit up. So when the lights are on, this is what it's gonna look like. So you'll have the one here, but you'll also have this one now. Give you a little extra bit of light. And this will turn on with the signals as well. You can see this other side here, perfectly functional. So compared to what it used to look like, just kind of bland and plain here, now we have a nice billet piece and LED light on both ends. So, and I even installed the decorative screws. There's a provision for that as well. But that'll do it. So hopefully you guys see that this project wasn't too difficult to install. It's mostly just plug and play. You just have to route things the way you're instructed. And I really love IAG. Now there are some other kits that are less expensive than this kit. This kit, like I said, was about 200 bucks, and I'm gonna leave a link in the description. But there are other kits on Amazon that are cheaper, but I don't know the quality of those kits. This particular kit obviously was stellar quality. The wiring, the gauge of the wire, the connections, everything. It was perfect. So I'm very pleased with it. I'm pleased with the outcome and how it looks. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you haven't. And then, of course, on the next video, we're going to get into another install that I'm going to be doing in the Bronco. And then we'll hop back into the Metis and see what I come up with on that end. But I really appreciate all your support. Appreciate everybody who supports the channel by liking and subscribing. And the channel's growing, and I continue to do as much content as I can whenever I have some free time. But until next time, this is Motors and Medicine signing off. Appreciate all your support. Thanks. Have a good day.